Hello beautiful person, this is Anton, and today we're continuing our mini tutorials in Python and talking about errors. What? Okay, this is a super important concept, and honestly, if you don't like errors, if you're afraid of making mistakes, you need to really embrace the love of mistakes. Programming, Python, and really any kind of, applied math is all about making mistakes and learning and loving them. You will see errors more than you can imagine. In this video, I just want to show you some of them, and I want to kind of give you the most important skill you can have, the ability to solve your own errors, because you can't just go and ask for help every time. You really need to learn to seek the resources and find the resources to help you by yourself. Now, I'm going to create a super simple error. I'm going to take, this is from the previous lesson, I'm going to take this y here, and I'm going to multiply it by my z, and it's going to give me an error. It's not going to allow me to run this. And this is what's known as a type error. This is one of the many errors that Python has in it. And it says, I can't multiply the sequence by non-integer of type float. Now, you might not really understand what it's saying at first. As a matter of fact, it might be complete gibberish too. And if that's the case, this is what you do. Right click, copy, and literally just copy paste this into your window. The first hit usually is one of the many solutions. Now, there are actually a lot of websites you can use to learn and to, find solutions to problems, but Stack Overflow is one of the most famous ones. Right here, if you click on it, underneath, especially if you see a check mark, this is usually the most accepted answer. And it's kind of explaining and telling you on what's happening in this particular situation. If you read this and it makes sense, perfect. If it doesn't make sense, well, go find another solution. Maybe something a little bit simpler. And at some point you'll realize that what you're actually doing is you are using a line here that is telling you about in this particular part that has an operation that just doesn't work in Python. In other words, you cannot use this operation with floats and strings. You can use this with integers and strings, but just not floats and strings. You can use it with floats and integers, just not with floats and strings. So errors are crucial. Now, I really want to kind of dive deep into this and tell you a little bit more about the most common errors, and the solution to them is going to be the same. So you just saw the first error. This was the type error. Let's say I try to create another error. We're going to say b plus z. This gives you a name error. As you can probably tell from the title, it's because the name is missing. Name error means that something is not defined. In this case, we don't really know what b is. So to solve this, we go ahead and give b some assignment here. And now run it again to have an actual working program. Python is actually brilliant at this because you don't have to compile anything. You don't have to really go and look up where the actual error occurred by yourself. It almost always, practically almost always, will point at the actual error. If I have more lines here, it will actually, let's do it differently. It will actually tell you exactly what line the error occurred on, and most likely give you some idea of what might be causing the error. So if you don't really know, once again, go to Google, type in the error, and basically it tells you normally on Stack Overflow, somewhere over here, you'll have the answer with a check mark. Another really common type of error is what you're going to see right now. It's called syntax error. Now, this is usually because you made a spelling mistake somewhere. Syntax basically means spelling, and in this case, what I actually missed are the quotation marks. There you go. So with the parentheses in there, you can actually see that it works. And here you go, your first hello world command. Another common error is what you're about to see right now. This is using a syntax we haven't learned yet, but I'll explain it to you in future videos. But here you'll get indentation error. In Python and in many other languages, you actually need to indent certain things. Like for example, if you have an if statement, you have to put 4 spaces here. Alternatively, although that's not recommended, you can also use tab, but this requires indentation. And in this particular case, now the program works. Otherwise, it will give you the indentation error, and we'll talk more about indentation later on. Similarly, if I have too many indentations, it's going to say unexpected indentation, basically saying, why do you have this here? You shouldn't have any indentation in this particular case. And so that's kind of the basic errors that you're going to be getting a lot. And so don't be afraid of them. As a matter of fact, embrace them, learn through them, and try to use either Stack Overflow or maybe post in the comments below so that people can help you if something actually does come up. Errors in programming are how you learn. You don't learn without making those mistakes. And this is how you essentially learn to become better and better. At some point, you won't even care anymore. As we use more and more complex libraries and programs, we're actually going to start seeing errors that are not part of actual vanilla Python, they're part of the other libraries, so you actually need to learn to Google them. And as a matter of fact, it's going to be absolutely essential when you get an error that you don't understand to go and find out what it actually means. Well, anyway, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you for watching, hopefully you learned from this, and if you did, support this channel and help us grow. Anyway, stay beautiful, stay awesome, stay gorgeous, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Bye bye.